Because I'll do a quarter.
Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order. Sheriff, it is Tuesday, November 9th, 2021. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Born in number.
Okay, minutes and reports received and filed. Commissioner Committee liaison reports, upcoming meetings and events.
The Regional Economic Partnership meeting today that I won't be able to attend, so Harry's going to go in my place. We've got a Homebuilder Association Board meeting this afternoon as well, and Planning Commission meeting at 5:15. Solid Waste Management District Executive Board meeting tomorrow, 1. HBA meeting tomorrow night. Chiefs meeting Thursday?
No.
Right? No?
It's going to be canceled to the following Thursday.
Okay.
Postponed, sorry.
Postponed. Then Friday's Chamber of Commerce, Friday coffee, I believe. And then Saturday's deer season. That's the part I was waiting to get to. So, I think other than that, that was all we had. And, there you go.
I think most of today, an event with Rosie Verslois at
Yep.
Legends,
I'm going to go with that.
her 50th anniversary recognition. I have a meeting this afternoon with Representative Griffin. I believe we're going to be talking about Heartland Port. Jeff mentioned the JC Regional Economic Partnership this afternoon. And until then, Monday, a meeting with Eric Landwehr and Matt Marash at the city, talk about the joint project, capital improvements, sales tax.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go to Rosie's as well. And then tomorrow, we were going to have a meeting at the Red Cross, and that's been postponed. I've got a Truman Foundation annual Zoom meeting Thursday night, the Governor Mansion Gala. It's 150 years old. And Friday morning, I think we have a USS Missouri meeting.
8 a.m.
8 a.m., yeah.
Yes, you're right.
That's all I've got. Commission comments, bids and contracts, approval and signing of epidemiology and laboratory capacity, enhancing detection, whatever.
Okay,
Okay,
so this is, we had the ELC grant contract before, and they've expanded it. So it's pretty specific what we can spend the money for. I sent it in the email. So it's for COVID, case investigation, contact tracing, surveillance, testing, education, and professional development. It runs from July 1st, 2021, so we can backdate things. It runs through June of 2023. So, and it is for $528,305. So, I would like you to sign it today because I think it's a great opportunity for us to bring some more money in the health department to help with COVID activities. Our issue will be, I'm going to work with Kristen to try to work on the budget because we have already received billed other of our personnel to CARES money, so we want to make sure that we're not double dipping and we get the budget submitted correctly for things that we can actually do with this money because it is very specific.
yep, his turn.
Yeah, if we're getting money, I like those.
I know, right?
So, you good?
Yes.
Okay. Make a motion to sign the contract with the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services for the epidemiology and laboratory capacity enhancing detection expansion.
Second.
How about that?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Unfinished business, contract with Turnkey Mobile.
Yep. So still working through my introduction to the public sector We asked last week to do this off of a sole source contract. Then it was brought to my attention that it was on GSA. So just switching this from having to do a sole source to purchasing off of GSA. So these, again, are for the center consoles and the rear storage of the Tahoes for $11,304 from Turnkey Mobile. So I have the quote here. Just ask that you guys sign this as a GSA so we can go ahead and get that purchased.
A motion to sign the contract with, proposal with TKM Turnkey Mobile, Inc. for the center consoles in the Tahoes.
Yes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Do we have any unfinished business? Okay, new business, accounts payable review.
I'd ask for approval of accounts payable pending review.
Motion to approve accounts payable pending review.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, what everybody's been waiting for, delivery of auditor's proposed budget for 2022.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's always a good morning when I get to hand this off to you all. So you guys have a copy of the budget book, and each department will get a copy as well if they're not here. I'm just going to quickly run through some highlights. If you guys want to follow along in the book, we're going to start on Roman numeral 3 of the budget message. Some of the budget highlights. So total financial resources available for expenditures is slightly over $115 million. Total planned basic operating expenditures of $74.6 million. That includes $16.4 million in infrastructure and capital expenditures. Over $16.9 million in public safety, which includes law enforcement. The county has an additional $14.9 million in the American Rescue Plan Act. So the U.S. Treasury gave us the state and local fiscal recovery funds. We got half of that this year, which is being carried forward into next year's budget. The other half is expected to come in June of 2022. The budget does include a 4% COLA for county employees. The county will also continue to cover health and dental insurance for full-time employees and some additional funds to cover a portion of dependent care. Reserves as a percent of total resources in all major funds are at or above a target level of 10 to 15%. So we're just going to quickly go over the budget message is great to read. I know a lot of people don't, but it's got lots of good information. If you don't have time to read it, the tables in there give you some great information. So we're going to kind of run through what those tables tell you. Table 1 on page 4, Roman numeral 4, compares the 2021 amended budget to the 2022 proposed budget in totals. As you can see, we went from 105 million to 115. Most of that is due to that 7.4 million in additional ARPA funding. That is the biggest change. If you flip to Roman numeral 7, table 2 gives you a breakdown of the major funds, so general fund, road and bridge, sales tax, law enforcement, EMS. Then it combines all other funds together and then gives you a total of all funds together. So you can kind of see here a clearer picture of those transfers in and out between funds. Then if you flip to Roman numeral 9 and 10, you will see 2 comparative tables. One is expenditures by resource, and the other is expenditures by function. So resource lists personnel services, materials and supplies, capital outlay, those kinds of things. Function tells you the different functions of government, general government, health and welfare, public safety, parks and recreation. So it just breaks and categorizes those expenditures in 2 different ways so you can see them. If you go to Roman numeral 12, we'll hit table 5. This starts the individual major funds, and it gives you a comparison of 2020 actual activity, the 2021 budget, where we project that budget to be, and then the actual department budget and budget officer proposed budget for 2022. And that's the next 3 tables. So general fund, then law enforcement, then EMS. And note that EMS is a combination of the sales tax and the enterprise funds together. So for the budget purposes, we combined those two funds together. Note in the law enforcement fund, it still includes that COPS payment. 2022 is projected to be the last payment of that debt service. So we are projecting that that sales tax will fall in 2023. What else?
You want to talk about that?
And if you look at general fund, this year I did include there's $5 million for capital improvements included in general fund. We have set aside some money in general fund over the last 2 years. Due to COVID, we have not really taken on any of those larger capital improvement projects we've been talking about. So that has grown to $5 million in the general fund for those. I know that we have a list of capital projects that are probably over 14 million. So we need to take a look at what those projects are and maybe start biting them off a little bit at a time. In front of each different category, so like on page 119, there is a list of the capital requests. I did only include the priority A's as far as the buildings. There are other things on that capital list, but I did include the priority A's in this list, and then anything requested by the other departments as well is listed on there. There is that same kind of request list in front of the law enforcement fund and the EMS fund as well, so you can see what their capital requests are. Any questions from you all? I know I went really fast. There's a lot of information there that it'll take some time to go through.
I guess I could compute this number myself, but the projected sales tax revenue increase 22 over 21 is percentage-wise?
I don't have that number right off the top of my head.
Okay.
So in the past, we have always taken whatever the growth is in this year and we project it flat into next year. So we don't realize the growth, we realize it in the following year. And I don't know what that percentage is at the moment. I don't have that number with me. I know it was 8% that we grew from 2020 to 2021, but I don't have the number from 2021 into 2022.
Yeah, we don't project any growth here, just in case. But
Well, it just lags, so we
Yeah,
take the
yeah.
growth that we achieved in the current year and put it into the next year's budget. So we don't project additional growth going into the next year.
we were very fortunate.
Isn't that just a little too conservative? I mean, it's not realistic that it's
Prior
going to be.
years.
I was gonna say, in prior years where we were growing less than 1%, it worked well for us. I know we've seen some higher growths in the last few years, but I know in '09 and probably 10, we saw a decrease in taxes actually due to that slight recession. So we've kind of taken a more conservative approach to it.
Okay.
We can talk about whether or not that's how you want to continue to do it.
Well, with the project, we've said we need 4% more, or 4% COLA for the employees. Why would we want to do that if we don't anticipate? We expect them to have to pay more for things next year. If you pay more for things, you pay more sales tax. We collect more sales tax. That's where I think we're a little too conservative on the revenue side.
Yeah. There will be some significant changes going into 2023 with the passage of the Wayfair law and the collection of that use tax. So we will have some significant changes in that combination of taxes going into 2023, but that does not take effect until then.
I just think with all the questions we've had about it, just staying in flat growth, and they may be paying more, but they may still only have the same amount of disposable income. So whether they buy $600 worth of Christmas toys and it amounts to a stack this big or this big, it's still 600. So I'll just keeping the way we've been doing it I guess when it first came up, there was questions about which way it was going, and it could have went backwards. So that's kind of the direction. And last year's numbers and this year's numbers, I think, were very surprising. I didn't see it coming up. And, you know, if that's gonna continue to be the trend, I still would rather be real conservative on it than to hope it goes up and it doesn't. It goes the opposite direction.
And Harry, I do have a table
Yeah, I agree with you,
upstairs
Jeff.
that shows the comparison of year to year and the growth if you want to see it.
Okay,
It's
it's fine.
been weird too.
Yeah, it's
There's no way.
up
to
and down,
Rhyme or
so.
reason or anything.
I think for this year, I just soon project zero growth, and maybe next year with Wayfair, you know, we might, but again, very cautiously.
So we do have some time to continue to talk about the budget. There is a copy of the budget calendar in the book here. So the auditor's proposed budget is due to the commission by the 15th of November. That's why we're here today. You guys have until the 7th of January to approve the actual budget. And we will have budget hearings in between that time.
And they start on November 30th that week, and I think everybody should know when their time is assigned. If not, check with the agenda calendar, because it is spelled out on there.
And that, November 30th.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's the first day.
So everyone has some time to review between now and then, and we'll start those hearings on November the 30th.
We're not gonna finish it today.
I think a lot of them would like to come back, maybe.
Yeah, I think
I would like a break
thrill of their
from
life.
this point.
Just a 2 week. What would be the question?
I don't have any further questions at this point.
Okay.
We'll give you a break. About 10 minutes?
Sure.
Thanks, Kristen.
Yep.
Thank you.
Sam, if I could go back to old business.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. This is the Kringer family fence that you guys have discussed before. Greg has gotten to you, I think, what it would cost to replace it as is, and what it would cost to fix it, and what it would cost to put a chain link type fence there instead. So I just need, what do I need to do to go forward? Do you guys want to fix that? Do you want to put a different kind of fence up? What you need, and do I need to turn this into insurance? The wind, I guess, was October 25th is when this happened.
Are you gonna put slats in it or something? Or do you have to have some kind of privacy fence, or did you talk to Toby about that?
It has to have privacy, so people can't really get. Just to repair what we got there was 8,600. To do a chain link was 20,000. And then if we wanted to do a whole new vinyl fence again, it was almost 37,000. I'm kind of leaning to we just repair what we got, try different brackets, see if it'll hold it better. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's been 8,000.
Technically, this is just the second time, and the tornado took it down the first time. This was just the second time it's happened. The fence has been up for quite a while. And again, in 8,500, just to fix it like it is, put some new brackets on it, take that chance, versus 20 to 37,000.
I would just go with that and just, let's pray to God we don't have high winds, no more tornadoes. And not turn in an insurance claim.
Not turned in. We have, we can do this at 8,500 without bidding, because it's under the bid amount.
If we were ever to, let's say we do this and we repair it for 8,500, and at some point we decide to, because we've got these reserves, we decide to improve it to a chain link with slats. Is the fence as it sits there usable, reusable, I should say, at any other facility that needs a fence? Yes.
It probably could be reused elsewhere. Just have to change the brackets, it's more posts.
Okay. So an $8,500 investment today, we could get the use of it there, or we could potentially get the use of it somewhere else if that was ever the plan, all right. I think I'm okay with this 8,500 as the way to go at this point.
Yeah, I'm fine with it too. I just didn't think we had that bad of winds, but apparently it was in town.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
Because there were some other people that had some damage too. I don't know if there's some way to reinforce it, because those, I said I didn't think those winds were that high, so I was kind of surprised at the damage it did. So, I think get it fixed, and if there's some way that we can maybe reinforce it to handle a little more, aside from making it out of concrete and.
So we're gonna make saddles, brackets that come over and down and bolts, and it's all gonna be bolted up.
Okay.
We can pull out a 4-inch ladder. How strong it was. Out of concrete.
Really? Wow.
I mean, hold down there, it's kind of.
So is that all you need, is just some kind of guidance there, or do you need us to vote on something? What kind of action do you need?
Just maybe a motion to repair the fence at the Kringer family.
I'll make a motion, we repair the fence at the Kringer Center.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Replacement of parking area doors at the sheriff's department.
Does
Thank
this ever
you.
go away?
I'm hoping this takes care of it.
We bid out replacing the garage doors at the sheriff's department for the parking garage. We bid out 2 options, one similar to what they have now, and then another high-speed door. Overhead Door Company of Columbia was the only vendor to submit a response. The recommendation is to go with option 2, the high-speed Dynaco door, which totals $69,984 for the entrance and the exit door. The total does include labor and install. The sheriff doesn't want to do the saw cut safety loop right now, and then they want more discussion on the preventative maintenance with the staff.
Because they're actually, they gave us a bid for preventative maintenance for not only those 2 doors, but also for our Sally Port, which we don't have right now, so. I just want to find out what it entails. I mean, if they're just gonna come up and run it up and down in front of Greg and say that they're preventative maintenance, and it's not worth the $2,000, I think it is. So, but once I figure out what their preventative maintenance is, actually, once he and I figure out what the preventative maintenance is, then we'll go further. But I would ask that you go ahead and move forward and get rid of those godforsaken doors.
I second the motion.
Yeah, I drive by those every morning about 6:15, and I'm like, are we ever gonna get it repaired?
So you don't want to do the 4x6 saw cut safety loop at this time, or the preventive maintenance cost?
Well, the preventive maintenance I want to do, but I didn't feel comfortable in saying, let's go ahead and do it unless you know what it entails. So unless I know what all it's going to entail, I'd really rather not spend $2,000 on it. I mean, in the scope of things, it's not that much money, but I don't know what they're going to be doing. I'd like to know what they're doing for the preventive maintenance.
So I guess we had talked about your doors before, and they've been opened and shut a lot.
Yes.
So it's not like they were just trashed, but
No, and truthfully, I was talking to my staff about this. For 10 years, we didn't have one issue with them.
and we didn't do preventive maintenance.
We did not do preventive maintenance.
So you brought that up, and I think we need to look at that, what that entails.
Absolutely.
Because this could get us some more time out of it.
Well, if you all want to go ahead and vote for the $2,000 for it, I don't have a problem with it. And then Greg and I mean Greg, will check into it further to find out what all that preventative maintenance entails. I mean, it may be just simply coming down and running it through and lubing it and
Cleaning it.
cleaning it, and and that may be a good deal. So
Well, I think we need to move on the doors, but we can hold off till we know more on that part of it, I think.
How about you put us on the agenda for next Tuesday and we'll know an answer for it by then?
So what is the saw cut safety loop?
I don't exactly know, to be quite honest. When I was talking, you might, but when I was talking to the vendor, they actually said that it's not really a necessary thing.
Not with these high-speed doors,
Yeah.
because there's more safety options with this door than what they have now. They basically cut a loop, so then if there's two cars waiting to exit, the door won't shut on that second car. It senses the weight of the car, and so it'll hold the door open, right?
What they said.
Okay. I just saw the excludes the liability if the underground utilities are damaged due to soft cutting and that kind of,
That scared me too. I'm not gonna lie.
so probably don't even need to worry about that part right now. And then we can put it on the agenda next week again to talk about the preventive maintenance.
Yeah, it's about a 20, I think they said 22-week lead time, so that's why we wanted to go ahead and get them approved so they can go ahead and order the parts, the metal.
And then which one were you were recommending, option 1 or 2?
Two.
The high
Two.
speed Donegal.
And I do have a quote here, if you guys approve it.
And then, how much more is it gonna cost us with accurate controls and hooking up everything else, security and stuff?
Don't know the answer to that yet.
So,
What is the timing or the gain of $35,000 to have a high-speed door versus a lower-speed door?
Well, it was explained to me it's a more durable door. It's made for this type of operation. And safety-wise, it does better for safety and security.
And higher speed door. The one we have in there now is more for home use.
For a couple entrance and exits a day. The sheriff's goes up and down multiple times a day, all throughout the day. So the high-speed door is more directed towards what a sheriff's department would need compared to what they have now, which is option 1.
Is it worth $35,000 to?
Yes, sir.
It is.
It's a more durable system and it's a more.
Well, I know it doesn't say anything about durability. It talks about speed, and so that's where my question came from.
Sure.
Does one take 5 seconds and the other one take 8 seconds? Then it's not worth it. But if you're telling me there's quality
There
issues.
is, it's quality, durability, and security.
The motor functions, the longer, better built versus what we got now.
So it's just more heavy duty all the way around
To be
and,
quite honest, if I would have known about these doors before we did the RFP would have stated that. So I wouldn't even have to worry about the option.
it's twice as much, but if we don't have to replace it as often, this needs to get done.
Yes.
It needs to get done.
We've been lucky that Greg or Jordy has been able to come down and secure these doors after they break, but we've had a couple times when we couldn't secure the door and I had to bring someone in overtime and stand at that door to make sure we have security for that lower area. So the doors need to be replaced. I think we all understand that.
Actually,
I don't know, I'm just looking up some info on the Dynaco high-speed door, trying to see what the differences in them are, besides dump the price, see if it's worth it. You wanna move on to something else right now while we look at this? You have, what is that? Is the other one's just manufacturer of the overhead door?
Yeah.
I got like a model number or anything that we can review or look up reviews?
631.
631 corporation series.
We can go ahead and Only other thing we've got really is signing of surplus title for the sheriff's department. If you want to do that, Deb.
And, let's see here. 1, 2, 3 vehicles that the sheriff is surplusing that we need the title signed. And then I also have one that's a damaged vehicle for the sheriff's department that's been totaled. So you would sign all those surplus titles.
I'll make a motion to sign the surplus titles on the sheriff's vehicles.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we'll go back, because we're going to table the signing of the GBH agreement for 209, 210 Adams Street until next week.
Do you have the specs that they sent you, or?
I do over at the office. I just have the quote for the high-speed one.
I probably wouldn't have hesitated on this if it would have said option 2, higher quality, more durability, commercial grade versus lower quality, less durability, residential grade. But all it said was high speed versus non-high speed. So,
Well, we can go with the other one.
well, no, what I guess my only objection to the whole thing is it didn't have enough here to warrant the difference, because it looked like the difference was speed. But you're telling me the difference is durability, quality, another term or two was used.
They're saying like the fire rating, the wind rating, and stuff like that, so.
Yeah. I'm okay. I'm taking the lead of the sheriff and the lead of our maintenance director that this is a wise use of.
I looked at both, John asked me to make sure what my opinion was after calling Mike with the overhead door, talking with him. He gave me a couple guys' numbers in Kansas City, talked to them. Since they put them in, they said they haven't had any issues. They're running robotics, with robotic carts through these doors, so they're going up and down all day long. Whereas the old doors, they never had issues with.
Was the other one chain driven? Was the old one chain driven?
The old ones, yeah.
Then what are these? Are they gonna be shaft or belt or,
I think the shaft drives.
so what were we having problems with on the old ones? Were the trains hanging up in the,
The springs were breaking, the hitch springs, they're only 40,000 cycles. We got the big springs we could put in them, which were 40s, due to the barrel shafts.
so will these still have springs in them too, or they have a different type
They've got a
of?
different mechanism to pull them up and down.
Okay. So I mean, even on your garage doors at home, that's what usually happens is a spring butts. So that's what I was wondering, if we're trying to get away from that, if one of these has it and the other one doesn't. Then what about parts and service on both of them? Are they both have included? One's gonna be one easier to work on and,
From what I've seen through YouTube, as far as programming the doors, easy to take on this new programmer. It walks you right through it, whereas the other one, you had to go through 30 different functions. You have to set the stop limit on the up and the stop limit on the bottom. I just think we're getting a lot of that product with this than what we had with the old one. I've got a couple pictures of what the slats look like on the old ones down there, and you can see they're cracking and falling apart. And that's hanging the doors up, which is causing some of the issues down there now.
well, I'm in the same boat as Harry with it. I mean, that's your recommendation, and I just had some questions about what all due diligence we've done to see what the difference is, because it is a big difference. So,
I said the same thing too, when I saw the price.
Yeah, it's double, so if
The most, the thing that brings the sheriff to my office more than anything else are those damn doors. So I'll make a motion.
This gets rid of him.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, we have a motion.
Hey,
Just saying.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
My motion is to go with option 2.
sorry, second on the option 2 as well.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then find out what the maintenance.
Yeah, find out
agreement
what,
is.
I'll come back, Lydia, we'll come back next week and try to be able to,
Just whenever, I mean, I think it's a good idea, and I think we can get more out of them if we do that, so.
yeah. Should have had that all along, so it is what it is.
You're on the agenda, so.
Ain't what it ain't.
Ain't what it ain't.
okay. And we are going to table the signing of GBH agreement. Do we have anything else before we go into closed session?
I'll just remind you on your F drive, on the commissions folder, we are starting to get the applications in for the ARPA board members. There's 8 of them so far.
So I noticed it says there's a deadline.
The 15th.
Okay. So can they still put the application in after the 15th, or?
It's gonna be up to you guys. We put the deadline on the website as the 15th. If you wanna redo that deadline on there, you just have to let me know.
I don't have a problem having a deadline on there, but if somebody still wants to send it in afterwards, we can deal with it then.
I think that perhaps a newspaper article on today's meeting will mention the deadline.
You think they'll do that?
He nodded yes.
Okay.
You get to choose what goes on the top page, right? Deadline.
Anything else?
A motion to go into closed session to discuss the following under 610.021 subsection 19, proposed security systems, real estate under section 610.021 subsection 2, and personnel issues under section 610.021 subsection 13.
Second.
Roll call?
Sam?
Yes.
Aries?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Okay. Look at that, it's only a little after 10:30.
Order are you going?
Yeah, but we probably.
Who do we have out, who's out there? Okay, let's